Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Our breaking news this noon is the Oxford High School shooter pleading guilty to killing 4 of his classmates. The names of each victim was read out loud in court this morning as Ethan Crumbley admitted to the deadly shooting.
Crumbley is now 16 years old and pleaded guilty to 24 charges against him for the November 30th shooting. That includes charges of murder and terrorism, and this is the first time a school shooter in the U.S. will be convicted of terrorism. We do have team coverage for you this afternoon with Rob Maloney gathering reaction from the community there in Oxford, as the prosecutor says this is the first step towards closure for the families of the victims.
But we do want to begin with Sean Lay with a look at what happened in the courtroom this morning. Sean?
Let's start our team coverage. What happened in the courtroom, important. It was stunning. It was emotional for victims' families, not for the shooter. He showed absolutely no emotion as prosecutors, as you said, listed off the names of everyone shot and killed and others who were also shot during this rampage, asking the shooter if he intended to shoot and kill them. The answer was yes, and there was much more. Let's take you inside court.
Is it true when you committed these crimes you intended to put students and teachers in fear, and you intended to cause panic among the Oxford High School community?
Yes.
Is it true that the firearm that you used on November the 30th was purchased on November the 26th, 2021 by your father, James Crumbley?
Yes.
Is it true that you asked him to buy that firearm?
Yes.
That when you exited the bathroom, you began shooting at students instead?
That's an important point there. Is it true that you asked your father to buy the gun? That's new information here, important information we'll talk about in a second. Let's talk about possible sentencing here. We're talking about first-degree premeditated murder carrying up to 60 years, firearm charges carrying up to 24 years, then the plea of terrorism. This is a plea deal, so it's a plea, not a plea deal, but how does this impact the sentence? The Supreme Court limits life without parole for juveniles. So we just came out of a news conference with Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald, where I asked her if there's any chance this shooter could get out of prison.
That seems highly unlikely. However, it's just too soon to tell.
His defense
But to be clear, he is facing life without parole on all of those charges, and we are going to follow the law with regard to what sentence we'll request.
That means what happens next. It's called a Miller hearing. It's mandated by the Supreme Court, where the judge must look at all the evidence here and weigh what kind of sentence would be appropriate here. Legal experts we're talking about do not think he would get out with parole, but there is much more to talk about this as well. Also, setting up possible felony gun charges for the parents. But big picture here, what a day emotional for victims' families. Rod Maloney speaking with them. Rod.
Yeah, it's one of those situations, Sean, where it was highly emotional, as you talked about. Sheriff's deputies ringing the courtroom, and when Ethan Crumbley was brought in and taken out, the security inside the courtroom made sure that they separated everybody so that it might not have gotten out of hand. Now, when there was the reading of the charges and the guilty pleas, I did see one of the mothers of the children who had been shot and killed shuddering, shaking, and sobbing just a couple of rows ahead of me in the courtroom this morning. It was very tough for all of them to hear all of this, and in fact, the families, most of them, were taken out the back of the building before we had a chance to talk to them. But we did talk to 2 parents. Both of them are the parents of children who survived. The first one is Megan Gregory. Her son Keegan was shot in this, and then there's Linda Watson, and her son Aiden was also shot. Let's hear from them and their thoughts about the interesting twist of events with all of the Ethan Crumbley admissions on the stand.
I had no idea that he paid for that gun. That was a big deal.
What was most emotional for you?
Seeing him and then going back thinking, wow, that was who held my son and Justin in the bathroom for so many minutes staring at them. It put chills down my spine.
I was happy that he admitted that the gun wasn't locked up at home, and it's hard to hear it, but it's good to hear it. He had the gun with him in his backpack, and now we know that if anyone would have checked it, they would have found it, and it never would have happened. 4 kids would be here.
that was the theme in talking to families and even their attorneys, that the school district itself, they believe, has not done enough to help people understand what happened. There's a lot of frustration in that. But it was, again, an emotional day. But Ethan Crumbley has now pled guilty, avoiding a trial. And we'll be hearing more about how the parents of the victims feel about that when we have more coverage on Local 4 News at 5 and at 6. Reporting live in Oakland County, in Pontiac at the courthouse, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
All right, Rod, thank you. And we certainly got some insight into how some of those parents are reacting. But as Rod mentioned, we'll continue to gather more reaction throughout the day. Coming up at 12:30 during our newscast right now, the Oakland County prosecutor, Karen McDonald, is going to be joining us. Of course, we have a lot more questions for her, so we'll bring you complete coverage of that coming up at 12:30. And then our coverage continues on Local 4 News at 4, 5, and 6 later today.
Right now, we want to get to breaking news out of St. Louis, where we've learned that 6 people were hurt in a shooting inside of a high school. It happened just after 9 at a performing arts high school, which led to hundreds of students running from the building. Now, the shooter was quickly stopped by police and is in custody right now. We don't know how badly those people were hurt, but again, a number of people hurt. 6 people hurt in a shooting inside of a high school there in St. Louis. We're going to continue to follow this story for you as well. Over to Clinton Township now, a little closer to home this afternoon. One person is arrested for bringing a BB gun to school. Sky 4 was over the school, Clintondale High School, where the school was on lockdown. We're going to get more information about exactly what happened here.
Switching gears to talk about our forecast and the beautiful fall weather that we've been experiencing, all the sunshine and the beautiful fall colors.
I was just going to say, look at how bright it is as we take a look there at the Detroit River, Belle Isle in the distance there, Brandon. It looks like a beautiful sunny afternoon, and we're going to do what we can to enjoy it.
Yes, and you notice the flag, too, was whipping with winds off of the river, so it's south-southeast winds, which is just bringing slightly cooler air to places like Mount Clemens, with the air blowing off of Lake St. Clair. 62 in Macomb County, 67 Pontiac. We have 70 right now officially at Metro Airport, 73 Lapeer. Winds, again, on the lighter side, south-southeast, and at times gusting upwards of 15 to 20, but all in all, a pretty nice day. You can see clouds elsewhere. We'll see a few of those sneaking in to Metro Detroit later in the afternoon, but no big deal. We're heading into the middle 70s. Get out there, maybe a little golf. Anything goes today. We've got more 70s before it comes to a crashing halt.
All righty, Brennan, thank you. We have new information this afternoon about 2 standoffs involving police.
Yeah, police shot and killed a man that was held up in a home on Schaefer near Vassar on Detroit's west side. They say that the man pistol whipped and sexually assaulted a woman in that home last night. She got out of the house, but the man stayed inside until Detroit police actually tear gassed the home. Police say that the man came out with a gun pointed at an officer, and an officer opened fire. 1 round, killing the man. State police are now investigating.
And right now, police are asking for your help to find a murder suspect that is believed to be armed and dangerous. After another standoff on Detroit's west side, police say 23-year-old Keon Fields is wanted for a double shooting from overnight, where we've learned that one person was shot and killed, another person hurt. This is on Santa Rosa near Livernois and the Davison. Police say that Fields barricaded himself in his home overnight, but police didn't find him, and the house has since been cleared. All right, let's get to breaking news now from the United Kingdom. Britain is going to have a new prime minister. Rishi Sunak won the race to be leader of the Conservative Party and will become Britain's next prime minister. This will be the country's 3rd prime minister this year after Liz Truss resigned after just 45 days on the job. Sunak will be Britain's first leader of color and the first Hindu to take the top job. At 42 years old, he's going to also be the youngest prime minister in more than 200 years. All right, we've got some good news for people who drive a stretch of I-94 over in Macomb County. Emergency construction to repair eroding drain banks is now completed. The erosion was accelerating pretty quickly, and in some spots it was actually 25 yards from the westbound lanes near 13 Mile and Little Mac. Crews were afraid that it would cause a partial freeway collapse. Construction started back in August on 3 different areas.
An important deadline today in Decision 2022. Today is the last day for people in Michigan to register to vote online or by mail if you want to have your vote count on the November 8th election. After today, you can still register to vote in person at local clerk's offices. If you're voting absentee, the Secretary of State office is encouraging you to mail your ballot by today.